Hey team, welcome into today's mobility project. We've got everything from your ankles to your hips to your shoulders to get you feeling more mobile and more durable. So go ahead and just roll out your mat, follow along with our cues. We are going to start off in a dragon pose for 2 minutes. Put that left foot out in front, let that right leg get long in the back, and try to lean on that left thigh. You can see Mark has no object and I have a kettlebell just to kind of help keep my posture tall, put my hand on it occasionally, but really keep that front foot flat and drive that left knee forward as you let that back right leg, hip flexor, quad grouping really get a good stretch. So stay tall, breathe through this with really long inhales and loud exhales. Just let it all marinate. Focus on that hip flexor and hip connection on both sides, getting some work here. As we close in on the end of these 2 minutes, just come out of these positions slowly always. We're going to transition into a half kneeling position, half kneeling split to target the hamstring on that same front left leg. So you can see there's 2 different versions Mark and I are demonstrating. I'm going all the way back to really fold that back leg, so I'm sitting on my right calf and ankle. But Mark is staying up high. We're just targeting different areas of the hamstring with these 2 variations. Keep your chest folding over that front leg. Let your head hang heavy. I know it's tough. You're doing well, but let that breath carry you into a heavier head and heavier upper body to lean and melt into these positions. So with these last 3 seconds, we're now going to switch entirely to the other side, back from the top with our dragon pose on the other side. So right foot is forward, left leg is long in the back. Turn that foot under. And again, lean onto this front leg with your hands, with your elbows. If you have an object like I do with the kettlebell, that's perfect. You can use a medicine ball, a stack of pillows, whatever you have. But know that just because I was talking about that back hip flexor getting a good stretch doesn't mean you're getting that stretch. You might be getting it in the front hip or the front ankle. Wherever you're feeling it, if it's the front hip, front ankle, back hip flexor, you're getting a good stretch. Just let yourself breathe deeply into it. Try to relax through this. You have just about a minute left on this side. And as you saw with me, you can come in and out of this pose, take a deep breath, relax as many times as you want. This is your mobility series. Use it exactly the way your body is telling you you need to use it. You got a minute left, so just chill out with the music, and we'll reconnect after this minute. All right, go ahead and shift your hips back, keeping the feet in the same placement they're in. We're going to hit that hamstring, that half split. So with these two variations, choose whichever you feel like you need to work on the most. With mine sitting all the way back, I'm tending to feel it a little bit more in the hamstring, closer to the knee. Mark is feeling his a little more in the middle, but we both need a different stretch at a different place. Just about 30 seconds left. All right, that does it for the hamstring. We're going to get a little bit of some movement going here. For a mobility drill, you might have seen called the 90-90, the shin box, the hip 90-90, whatever it is. You can see I got into a position where one leg is in front, bent at 90 degrees, and the other leg is back. We are focusing on staying tall as you can in your spine. Pretend like someone's pulling your spine up to the sky or the ceiling. Lift your toes up and keep your toes up, so only your heels are down. You can see Mark struggling to get into that 90-90 position. That's okay. We're going to do 10 reps total here, so take your time and use your hands on the floor, if you need to help stay in this 90-degree position with your hip to knee. So you can see my legs are pretty open. Mark was still struggling to find his positioning, so he needed to correct himself and just open up that knee a little bit more. We don't want the calves touching the hamstrings. You have a pretty big space at that knee angle. And again, using the hands, you're just rotating to flip the position to the other side. Coming on back for the last rotation here. If you want to challenge yourself, you can pick your hands up, flipping over one more rep to the last side and bringing it on home for the last 90-90 shift. Now let's go back into a down dog position, getting some active shoulders here, but let's get those calves, let's get those hamstrings. Try to bring your ribs to the tops of your thighs and pike your butt up to the sky. Press those shoulders away from your hands, and if you want to do some alternating stretching like Mark is, with one heel being down, the other being bent, go ahead and do that. We are just holding this one for a minute here, but really try and get your chest to sink through your arms. Get your chest closer to your toes. You might be feeling it more in your lats or your shoulders. You might be feeling it really challenging your hamstrings and calves. Whatever is working is what's being stretched, what's being mobilized, and that is exactly what you need. Almost here. Let's shift out of this position, and now we're going to go for some rotation. We're going to lay down completely face down with our arms out to a T, and we will rotate one hip to the other side to really get a big chest stretch. So just for a minute now, we're going to turn so that your right heel is now going to be over on the left side of your body. Use one hand to really brace down flat on the ground so you can push and rotate with that long arm being completely flat and relaxed. Really get a front shoulder, chest focused stretch. 30 seconds here. Use that other hand to hold your position or ease the position, whatever you need to do. Intensify it or relax it. Go ahead and come back to center. Rearrange those arms so now the other will be completely straight. And don't forget to spread your fingers out. That tends to help open up a really big forearm focus, maybe in your palm, depending on how tight you are in your arm. You got 40 seconds left here. Just marinate with this music and let the chest open up. Now we're going to come to a kneeling position, both knees down, or you could be seated in a cross-legged position, or really whatever position you like. We're focusing on the shoulders right now. So we're going to do this classic reach your arm in front of your chest stretch where we bring the other forearm close, but what we're going to do is kind of have a little battle between arms. So we're bracing for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you see that long arm, my right arm gets loose. I'm kind of shaking out the arm. It's totally loose, but the left arm is still gonna pull that right arm across. I'm trying to get my chin over my right shoulder. And now let's come back and start again. Clench those fists. Push your left forearm away with your right arm, but also use your left forearm to pull your right arm closer to you for 5 seconds and relax. Now for 5 seconds, we're just gonna stretch and pull and be passive. 3, 2, 1. And now let's go back in battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax again. You're gonna go back and forth between these 5 seconds of really battling, both arms pushing against one another, and then relaxing, the one arm pulling it further as it's completely passive. You have a few more reps here. Pull, 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 and relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's completely switch arms. You're really trying to focus on the outside of the shoulder here, get that good stretch. So here we go. Let's switch. Left arm is long. Clench fist, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Right arm's loosey-goosey. Left arm's pulling it further into a passive stretch. 3, 2, 1. All right. Clench fists, go. Push, 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 push. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Pull. Now elongate that arm. Pull it into a greater passive stretch. And again, let's go. Clench fists, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Pull that arm across. Get that big shoulder stretch to rotate across. Here we go. Clench fists. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Constant pushing and pulling against one another. These arms are fighting for more flexibility. And then you get to kind of turn off the light switch and pull it across. Let it relax. All right, that does it for the shoulder stretch. We're going to come into a recovery position. Great for the hips. It'll look similar to the very first position we did, but it's known as a lizard position. So get into a push-up position. Bring one right foot up next to your right hand. And now let's walk those hands out a little bit in front. Lean on your hands. Let that back left leg be long, loose, and stretching. Walk those hands out a little bit further as you're holding this stretch for a minute. Breathe, slow and heavy. You have just about 30 seconds now. Try to really let your torso marinate into this stretch. Lean on your hands, drive your right knee out. But most importantly, really try and relax. Let your head hang heavy. 20 seconds left before we switch. All right, guys, that does it for your minute on the right. Let's switch. This is it. Your last pose, lizard on the left foot up. 1 minute. Let that back leg be straight, long, and loose. Walk the hands out, lean on your hands. 45 seconds left. All right, team, you did it. That is it for today's video. Well done. I apologize for the dogs in the background, but you did it and you're mobilizing. Good work.